Yesterday or the day before, you gave a speech on Italy's 7 capital sins. What will happen to public finances of Italy depending on what kind of government we have?
Well, we don't know yet what kind of government we're going to have. I think that if those who won the elections, the Lega and the Five Star Movement, implement even a portion of what they promised before the election, there is going to be a clear increase, a fairly large increase in the deficit. The Lega has also clearly said that they believe that for Italy it would be better to have a larger deficit at the moment. The Five Star Movement is more uncertain on this, but they've at least indicated they don't think it's a time for Italy to reduce its public deficit. So that's what I'm afraid, in a way, will happen, that we're not going to see a decline in the fiscal deficit in the future.
Okay, so what does that mean for the European rules? Is there a danger that Italy again becomes one of the worst pupils in the European class, and couple that with the trade concerns, Italy could actually be in a spell of trouble economically?
The rules, the European rules, I think they've been stretched as much as possible through the flexibility that has been given to Italy. So there is not much room left under the existing rules. I think that the winners of the elections will try to have a change in the rules. I don't know whether they will succeed. I'm concerned about the fact that public debt is still very high in Italy, and especially it has not yet started declining. I don't see dangers in the immediate future. Markets are very quiet. I see dangers over the medium term.
Yeah, the markets are very quiet, but we also have this huge amount of money coming from the ECB. As soon as the ECB starts normalizing, are you concerned about the spread?
I don't think that will be enough to cause an increase in the public debt to GDP ratio. A gradual increase in interest rate is not enough. What I'm concerned is a possible shock, a recession coming from abroad, for example, coming from a trade war, for example.
Are we in a trade war now?
Well, it's the beginning. I hope that we're not going to have a full trade war. Italy is very sensitive, will be very exposed to a trade war because we are exporting quite a lot at the moment. So if there are problems with international trade, Italy is going to suffer quite a lot. So in a recession situation, the public debt to GDP ratio will start increasing. And crises in the government paper market occur when debt is not only high, but it's also increasing.
Do you worry, or do you think that actually Italy should square themselves with the U.S. in putting more pressure on China?
That's a European issue. I think it's a European issue. And a good thing of the fact that Italy is part of Europe is that we can negotiate this with the U.S. from a stronger position, a European position.
Do you worry, though, and you're saying Italy is part of the EU, do you worry that Italy would ever leave the eurozone? If the deficit were to come too high, right, if Brussels were to be too tough on Italy, depending on who's in government, again, if you have Lega, Cinque Stelle kind of coalition, do you think that this is now, unlikely, but still a possibility?
Anything can happen. I mean, in a situation of a severe crisis like the one that we have in 2011, 2012, I don't know what may happen. It would depend a lot also on the attitude of the ECB, who is in charge, who is president of the ECB in the future. And so, again, it's not an immediate risk. Over the medium term, these things may happen. I hope they won't happen.
What kind of government do you think Italy will end up with?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a political expert, but the most likely thing, in my view, is that there will be a coalition between Lega and Five Star.
Do you think they will be more responsible when it comes to the economy and the deficit when they're in power?
But there is always a difference between what you say ahead of the elections and what you say after the elections. So I hope that they realize that the Italian public debt is still a big issue. Selling every month about 40 billion in the financial market is not easy. It's not there is no need of any drastic austerity or anything like this. A gradual adjustment, however, is necessary.
Okay, if you look at the gradual adjustment and if you look at the euro level, how much does a higher euro hurt the Italian economy and therefore the public finances?
How much is what?
The high euro. Is there an optimal level for euro, for Italy?
I think no. I mean, exchange rates are unpredictable, first of all. I don't think that an appreciation of the euro will be very good at the moment for the Italian economy, though.